everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I planned the most epic Halloween party of all time on a budget. Join me as I bake up a storm, show you all of the really cool decorations I managed to craft or buy at the discount store, and stick around till the end to see what my Halloween costume is going to be for this year. Spoiler alert, it's very cute. Okay, so first things first, I wanted to show you a couple of my favorite Halloween decorations that I'm going to be displaying for the party, and then I'll give you an official tour of how I decorated the entire apartment. First of all, I have this really adorable ghost ceramic, and as you can see, he's got this giant screaming mouth, and what you actually do is you put a candle inside of him, and then his entire mouth glows up. And next, I have this gothic pumpkin. It's actually really cool. I got this from basically the equivalent of Norwegian Hallmark, which is Nilla. It's got a very stark contrast to some of the other pumpkins I have in the house, and I think it's very spooky. Next up, I have something that I found online. It is a gory heart vase. So you can see here that there's actually a bunch of little holes on the top, and you're supposed to put flowers inside of it. So this actually can work as a flower vase. I also found this little guy also online. It's just this tiny little candy dish. So it's a pumpkin and the top comes off and you can put your candy inside it. So I think this will be great, and I am definitely one who likes to hide candy around the house for Halloween parties, and this will help a lot with that. I also want to show you guys some of the prizes we're going to be giving out for our Halloween costume contest, and then also for our scary movie trivia quiz. So first off, here is the prize for the Halloween costume. Ta-da! Isn't it cool? So it's actually a clear skull, and it's full of Halloween candy. I think it's awesome. Not only do you get all the candy inside of it, but you also get to keep the skull afterwards, and you can use it for decoration in the future. For the scary movie trivia quiz prizes, we have somewhat of a similar theme, but a tiny bit different. Here we go. This is the prize for the movie quiz. And yes, that's alcohol. So we actually have 3 of these because the quiz has a first, second, and third place. And we're filling them with this spooky green alcohol. They're really cool little bottles, and I think it really fits with the theme of the prizes being skulls. So yeah, that is what we're going to be giving out for the games. Now, those are my favorite decorations that I have in the house, but I am going to show you the rest. So let's go take a look at the rest of the decorations now. All right, so starting over here, we have my little ghosty boys. These guys are super cute and they actually glow in the dark. I have one of my pumpkin dishes where you can lift up the top here and there should be candy and things inside of it. I have my skeleton hand right next to an actual skull, and everything of course is hidden under this really creepy layer of cobwebs. This guy over here is rather adorable. He is my little pumpkin train. I got him online for quite cheap at Temu. And in the background here, I also have just a nice layer of fall garland leaves. Here is my ghosty that I love so much. You guys already saw him. And back here, this is also very, very cool. It's a ceramic pumpkin. Then we got my fall nisas. Nisas are quite popular in Norway, and these guys are decked out for fall. And then my vase of fall leaves. Up here, we have a very nice little stack of Halloween nisas to go with the Norway theme, and then another ceramic jack-o'-lantern vase. We've got some more cobwebs and just a little garland of different kinds of spooky guys up there. And I got my pumpkin pillows. Perfect to be on the couch. Now over here we have more decor. This is another jack-o'-lantern ceramic and he lights up. Oh, I do love this guy. I think he's one of the cutest ones I have actually. He's just a little trick-or-treating ghost statue. This guy I got from Flying Tiger. He actually matches the other pumpkin ceramic, and as you can see I have a candle inside his mouth just there. We got another cute ghosty, and his hat actually comes up. And you can put candy inside him too. This is another jack-o'-lantern that glows in the dark and changes colors. And we have more candles and more spooky little Nisa guys. This is actually the main dining table, and this is where I'm going to be putting all of the food for the party. I got this great fall table runner, and I think it works for both Halloween, Thanksgiving, fall, and I think it looks really good. We actually put this spider web all over our hanging lamps. And then over here we have our keep out signs. Ooh.
After finishing the decorations, I started baking and cooking all of the food for the party. After finishing my beautiful cake, I started making the rest of the snacks.
Okay, so here is all the ingredients that you're going to need to make the monster eggs. All you have to do is you take one of the boiled eggs, and I am just going to hit it with the spoon to make cracks inside it. Once it's cracked like this all over the place, then we're going to be putting them inside these baggies with a bit of water and of course some blue food coloring. And then we're going to leave it for 15 minutes. You're now going to want to take it and just roll the eggs around, trying to get them really blue. Okay, so this is the moment of truth when we find out if the dye actually dyed the egg or not. So here are the ingredients to make the egg yolk filling, and I'm going to also be using this green food dye to dye it green. So here is all of my ingredients that I'm going to be using to make the appetizers. We're going to be making stuffed pepper mummy poppers. I'm also going to be making some tomato pesto brie puffs with the puff pastry dough, and then some little pigs in blankets.
After baking all of the snacks, it was time to plate and decorate the dining table.
Okay, so most of the food is now done. The house is pretty much all decorated. Now all I need to do is get ready for the party. And it's time for you guys to see what my costume is gonna be. So without further ado, let's get ready. So now that everything is more or less set up, I'm going to start doing my makeup and then get into my costume. So stay tuned to figure out what I'm going to be for Halloween. And I thought it would also be a really fun idea that while I'm doing my makeup and hair for the outfit, that I can go over the history of Halloween in Norway and some unique traditions that only exist in Halloween in Norway. I am actually going to be something quite cute and whimsical, so I'm not going for very much of a dark look, more think fantasy, light colors, sparkle, that kind of thing. Now, to begin, I thought I would talk about the origins of Halloween in Norway. So Halloween in Norway is a relatively new concept. The holiday has only really been around since the mid to late 1990s. Originally, Halloween came to Norway from Sweden, so it was sort of imported to Sweden first, and then from there it came to Norway after. I think Halloween really started to gain popularity with Norwegian children through, funny enough, the Donald Duck cartoon series. So Donald Duck is one of the most popular Disney cartoons and comic book series for children in Norway. And I think that was how a lot of them were introduced to the concept of Halloween, because there is this comic book series about Donald Duck and his nephews celebrating Halloween from the 1990s that is coming out around the same time that Halloween was popularized in Norway. So a lot of the children learned about these Halloween traditions like trick-or-treat and wearing costumes through the comic series. Now, even though Halloween has been around for about 30 years now, that's still not very much time to establish a holiday. Because I live in Oslo, the capital, it is a lot more dominant here in the city. You can see shops with all kinds of decorations, you can see people wearing costumes downtown on the actual holiday, kids go around and trick-or-treat, that kind of thing. But if you go out into some of the smaller towns in Norway, it's not as common anymore. Something I did notice though is that fall traditions in general in Norway are a little bit lacking. And when I mean fall traditions, I'm mostly thinking about things like jack-o'-lantern carving or going to a pumpkin patch or a fall farm for a family outing. There's really not any pumpkin patches in Norway, surprisingly, and while you can find pumpkins being sold at grocery stores throughout October, it's not really a very popular thing to do jack-o'-lantern carving, and it's kind of rare to see those in front of people's houses. Luckily, me and my friends, though, were able to have a little jack-o'-lantern carving party of our own because we're a big group of internationals and we really enjoy it. But I do miss a lot of the other traditions though that come with these fall traditions in America. Things like corn mazes, hay rides, going to the local farm and doing apple picking. Even the foods I grew up eating aren't really a thing here, so no pumpkin pie, no caramel apples. You have to make it yourself essentially. Okay, now I'm going to just put on a little bit of blush. Trick-or-treating is another tradition that I've noticed about Halloween that is slightly different here in Norway. The most obvious thing being they speak Norwegian in Norway, so they aren't going to be saying trick-or-treat when they go trick-or-treating. Instead of saying trick-or-treat, the kids say knask eller knep, which is the literal translation of trick-or-treat. Now, I've also noticed that not as many kids do trick-or-treating in Norway than they do in the US, but that makes sense, the holiday hasn't been around as long. I think last year I saw a handful of kids going trick-or-treating in our neighborhood, but this is our first time in this apartment, so I'm really excited to see if we have a better turnout with trick-or-treaters this year. I really hope so, because I bought way too much candy this time. Now I'm going to be doing eyeshadow, and I'm going to be doing gold. I think overall though, Halloween in Oslo versus in America is more or less the same because it is an imported holiday, so there are a lot of similarities. Although it has never quite gained as much popularity in Norway as it has in the United States. Because it's such a relatively new holiday, I'm hoping that over the years it becomes bigger and bigger here, but we'll have to wait and see. Now I'm going to be doing some mascara and then some lipstick. I'm going for a very bright pink color. Next up is the hair. And I'm going to be pulling all of this mess into a top knot bun. Maybe that'll give you a hint to what I'm going to be for Halloween. But before I do that, I just wanted to say that I'm hoping that this party will be a major success. I know Halloween in Norway isn't the biggest of holidays, but it is one of my all-time favorites. So by throwing these parties every single year, I'm trying to bring a little bit of my Halloween from home to this new country that I'm currently living in. But without further ado, I'm going to snap my fingers and you'll see me completely transformed into my costume. Finished product. Here's the costume. I am going as a fantasy Tinkerbell. I think it looks great. So here is the finished look for my face. I have this kind of fantasy crown on here, and I even have the pixie ears installed, and that's what the bun looks like. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be having this on for the entire evening or not. It is a little heavy, so it might get in the way, but this is kind of what I was intending. It's sort of a twist on the classic Tinkerbell, and I'm going for a bit more of a fantasy vibe. I do have my wings though. I love them. They're very small and cute, and this is a really nice dress. Very flowy and very fantasy in my opinion. Oh, and I have to show you the shoes. These are really what complete the look in my opinion. So I did take the crown off though, and I think it might actually look more Tinkerbell-esque without the crown. So I think I'll only wear the crown when the guests first arrive and then take it off for the rest of the night. But all in all, I think the costume is still a success. So now I'm just going to do the finishing touches on the party, and then people will start arriving and we'll get to celebrate Halloween in style. Time for the party.
Lights they flicker and the candles glitter like you're in a thriller. How could ghostly figures they can get so bitter. Show you want to enter, you can turn back. You don't know where I've been. What's going on inside? Where the monsters like to come alive, come alive. Do you really wanna know me? I'm really not that
Thanks so much for joining me on my epic Halloween party. I'm really happy I got to take you guys along, and I hope you had just as much fun as me. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!